We want to look at the technical components of communication. And so one of the things to look at is communication is really only effective when the receiver does what we had intended them to do because of the communication. So if we communicate with somebody and they don't end up doing what we've asked them to do, then we haven't been successful in it. And as the sender, primarily the sender, we have a lot of responsibility in terms of that. So what happens first of all is in your mind you have an idea or an intent behind your communications. This sounds sort of obvious, doesn't it? Even if we go back to our email example, the first thing you need to decide is, why am I sending this communication? What do I want the person to do with it? If I can't get that clarity, how am I ever hoping that they're going to get the right interpretation? So for most of us, you've heard that expression, think before you speak. This is all we're talking about. Decide in your mind, what do I want the person to do? Have absolute clarity before you open your mouth or begin to type on the keyboard, and you'll have a chance of being successful. So we get the right idea in mind. Then we have to encode that message. So we've got an idea of what we're trying to see happen, and we need to encode it. By the way, when you have that idea in your mind, think in terms of verbs and nouns. I want them to send me the information. I want them to send me their time card. I want them to submit their expenses. Whatever it is, that's what your intent is. If that happens, you're successful. If it's not happening, your communication was unsuccessful. In the encoding process, here's where we're talking about the words that we're going to use, the tone that we're going to put with them, and the body language, and the method that we're going to put with it. So if we decide to encode it as an email, knowing that it could be misinterpreted, then we've just chosen the wrong transmission method. If we encode it with sarcasm, hoping that the person will get the intent, they could just as easily misinterpret the message, right? So in the encoding, or if I do it in a noisy environment, or if I do it in front of other people, all that could affect this encoding process. If I'm in a noisy plant environment, I'm trying to have a good conversation with somebody about something meaningful, I'd be better to say, hey, let's go into the office, or let's go off to the side, or let's go in the lunchroom, but somewhere where nobody else is going to hear. Because if you do it in front of peers, that person may be kind of listening to you, but out of the corner of their eye, they're going, you're telling me this in front of these people? You lose your credibility. So the encoding is important. Where you do it, how you do it. It's just like having a cell phone inside a building that has 5-foot thick concrete walls. You have that conversation, and your signal strength is going to be low. The chance of the message going through is going to be low. The chance of a dropped call is going to be high.